Alright, so jumping on into this. A couple of people are going to ask this question as well, so I guess I'll answer it as we do the intros. We'll start off perfect. To the top left side to begin with, though, the red Terran player is uThermal. And at the bottom right hand side, our blue Zerg from Team Liquid is Snute. So, basically Snute retired, which means that he's no longer full-time playing StarCraft 2. He's going to be going to university soon, I believe. He's going to still play the game casually when he finds it fun. And he will still compete at events if he feels as though he's good enough to go, or if he feels like going to the event. But he's not going to make it a thing to complete in all of the tournaments. He's not going to make it a thing to travel around playing tournaments. And he's not going to be practicing full-time. Obviously, he's still pretty good. He's still Snute. He played this game for years. And obviously, he's still pretty good right now because he's in the round of 8 of the Intel Extreme Masters European Qualifier. If he beats uThermal and one more player, he goes to IEM Katowice. So he retired from being full-time. Does not mean, and he didn't know then if he was going to continue playing at all, but he announced recently after Home Story Cup he would continue playing to some extent. And that's why he's playing now. Again, he's playing casually, for fun, and having a good time with it. Overall, coming in towards the upper left-hand side, of course, early game in this TVZ. Hopefully that answers some question for you guys. Hopefully that answers a few questions as to why Snute's playing in the qualifier, because I know a lot of people are very confused and, you know, feeling very manipulated about it. Like, he told me he was retiring, he's still playing StarCraft, what's going on? So, yeah, it is just a case of he stopped playing full-time and has decided still to play casually now and again, though, which is fantastic. I mean, feels like 2016, doesn't it? Snute versus uThermal. Man, Snute uThermal played an epic series in the IEM... what qualifier was it? It was like... IEM... they played on Coda, I remember. It was just... They had a real rivalry for a little while where they just played each other back to back to back in like 2016. They played in like... Maybe it was WCS Challenge even that they played in. I'm not 100% certain. I'm going to cheat. But they did play like some crazy, crazy matches back then. What was it? It was in the summer. I just remember watching at Kailaris and people cast it. I can't find it. Not quickly enough anyways. uThermal beat him in IEM Shanghai, but that's not the event I'm thinking of. Nah, I can't find it. But they played some crazy games back then. No, there it is. It wasn't a best of 5. That's why. It was 2015 IEM Shenzhen qualifier. The winner bracket. And uThermal won 2-1. It was such a sick series. It was really, really, really sick. So, I remember watching that. And they played on like Coda and stuff. I guess 2015 Coda makes sense as well. Yeah, I was looking in the wrong year. IEM Shenzhen qualifier. That series was so good. Like, they played some epic games, and they really had a rivalry. They played so much back then as well, because they were both very good, and they both consistently did so well. So, yeah. Man, just memories, you know. Isn't that? I think it's so great when you have two players who are so good and so great that you just have memories from like 3 years ago. About how the match, you know, about how these matches were and like games and like, you know, just watching them play brings us back. It's crazy. It is crazy. As we are going to be seeing the Reaper hopping up here. Feelings coming up to the top. Viking just going to be picking off their Overlord. Set off quite easily there. And again, just going to be seeing 7 roaches on the way up here from Snute. Getting this going again. A few Hellions in the center of the map moving across. I haven't really talked much about what's going on, but Snute is making a few roaches to help him defend here early. We'll see how aggressive he wants to go with these. I mean, if he makes more roaches, it's really getting serious in terms of attacking. If he stops around here and starts to drone again, he's probably not going to get that aggressive. He makes some more Zerglings for the moment. As you're not going to be seeing those roaches again, chasing those Hellions away. Viking down the right-hand side is just scouting out for more Overlords, but Snute's been pulling his back apart from this one here, so he is going to find a second one right now. And she sees those roaches coming across. I mean, Snute is going to look to try and trade out for some SCVs right now. He's not really following this up with much. The Lings will catch the Hellions as they try and dive into the mineral line, though, so Snute will be able to clean those Hellions up as the roaches pressing forward. They will actually get through a depot here. Again, they don't really want to, though. As long as the SCVs are here trying to repair, that's good enough for them. uThermal throws down another depot behind it. And we see quite a lot being done. Roaches still taking a little bit of damage right now as uThermal's going to cancel his third CC. Oh, man. uThermal cancels his third CC because I think he thinks there's going to be a flood of Lings coming through and he can't wall it off. What a mistake that is. And now it's not building. Oh, my God. uThermal. I mean, that was just such an unforced error. Man. That's tough. That's real tough. Okay, well, let's get interesting. Stimpack coming up in the main base now, so that's coming through. Marines on the way, Medevac's on the way out. uThermal's third base definitely delayed from where it should have been. Now, obviously, Snute has had a big commitment of roaches across the map as well. uThermal finding some good damage with the Banshees. Moving around quite nicely to catch drones transferring and stuff like this. As we are going to be seeing a Spore Crawler coming down between the bases. And again, just trying to save this drone and will not save it forever. Two Medevac's going to be moving down. Two Medevacs, 2 tanks and 8 Marines in. If they can drop into a good position, definitely some possibilities there. uThermal's first CC. This has been a bit of a nightmare CC from him. We'll get that going. And as we do see this Banshee still up in the main, but about to run out of energy, so won't be able to stick around much longer. Pointy taking a couple of shots of damage there. And again, this command center finishing up now in the front. So CC getting finished to 4th and 5th barracks, dropping down from uThermal as well. So he's getting that set up to go as we see that Bane nest coming through. And Snute going for the Spider as well. We saw yesterday a little bit of a tendency for Snute to play the Ling Bane Muta style. uThermal going to set up the tanks on the low ground here. Comes in, gets a Queen instantly, and a few drones will start go down as well. Pulls back now and will let the tanks deal the damage. Snute has to pull away. This is going to be a continued attack from uThermal until Snute deals with those tanks on the low ground. Couple Lings coming over and starting to nibble away at that orbital command, which is on the way up. So starting to nibble their way through that, but obviously won't be doing too much. Mostly just information as uThermal's actually going to kill off the Evo Chamber. He's actually also going to go for Evo Chamber number 2 here. So he's going to slow down further upgrades by stopping them from being allowed to continue, basically. Those tanks will siege, so only 8 Marines for all of that damage. uThermal finds some real value there, as we are going to be seeing this set of Zerglings heading down through the center towards the bottom right. Lots of Zerglings still gathering up. Here's a few Mutalisks on the way out then. Armory dropping down, getting ready to set up for those 2-2 upgrades. Couple of tanks dropping down, more Marines coming over. And again, just going to be seeing this army still gathering together. Depot setting up to the right-hand side. And uThermal going to be pressing forwards now. Zergling's picking up these rocks here in the center, so working their way through the rocks at the moment. Just picking and chipping their way through it. And shut those down. And again, obviously that's a big deal, because if uThermal sieged up here with the rocks there, it becomes very difficult to deal with this position. uThermal's going to be pressed in here anyways, though. And, well, Snute doesn't really have any Banes just yet, so he's going to fight this with purely Zerglings, which you can't imagine is going to go that well. I mean, it's a massacre. Snute just losing out on absolutely everything in this. Those Marines going to be way too much, and I can't understand why he wouldn't pull back and try more thin Banes. Maybe just really didn't think he had the time. Well, this is unfortunately not going to be good enough, and uThermal is going to take game number 1. Special and showtime as we go. For now, though, let's jump into game 2 of this best of 3. As to the bottom left-hand side, our red Terran player from Team Liquid. This is uThermal. Top right-hand side, the blue Zerg, Snute. Alright, so early overload coming across the map here to get this started. And we're so blessed in January with so many qualifiers and stuff like that to cover. It's going to be really, really awesome. So, looking forward to all of that. And covering a whole bunch of action for you guys. We've got, obviously, a lot more IEM qualifiers to do. After today, there's both the Asian server qualifiers. So, we've got the tomorrow, and there's 2 of those. So, it's going to be 4 more days of qualifier action. And then later this month, we have WCS qualifiers as well. So, it is just crazy. We've just got action all over the shop. It's really, really crazy, really awesome. And what a month it's going to be. We've got that OSC Championship we've been broadcasting as well. It's been a lot of fun. The next few days of that obviously going to start really heating up and really making things a bit crazy. So, yeah. Pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. Alright, setting up into this. Going to see a Reaper on the way out of the main. Command center dropping down on the natural. I'm just going to be seeing that SCV. Again, just building this command center up. So just getting this going. Just going to see the Reaper popping out from uThermal. Will come out and start to head across towards the upper right-hand side. Link speed coming down here from Snute. So again, that link speed going. A couple queens on the way up and a few more Zerglings as well. And it drops down, and again, drone's taking a little bit of damage at the moment. Those couple of lings are going to keep on running in after that Reaper, so Reaper taking some shots at the moment, and meanwhile we see the Spore Crawler starting up from Snute over in the natural expansion. Reaper trying to hop up towards the high ground there, but will not really be able to do too much. Of course, the Queen's still there to push this Reaper away. Meanwhile, elsewhere, Factory about to finish up from uThermal, will be able to lift up and go towards that reactor. Getting ready to drop down on it. And again, just going to be seeing the Tech Lab from uThermal. We're going to move over to the side. So getting that Tech Lab going here. And we are going to be seeing the early Overlords just spreading out. Link speed is on the way up as well from Snute. As we have the early game, not too crazy. No third hatch though from Snute, but I guess he'll go into that shortly. Behind these few Zerglings, which he has coming out right now. So getting that coming in, and just going to be seeing that Reaper just going to be jumping up to the high ground. Third hatch does drop in here from Snute as well. And again, just going to be seeing a couple of SCVs coming out, that Cloak coming in. And again, kind of similar to the last game, a Viking with Cloak, and then obviously does build the Banshees after. So uThermal will just open up in a very similar style. Now, Snute doesn't have a Rotoron yet this game, so for him, it's definitely looking very different to that game number 1. The grenade goes down, bops a few Zerglings around. Quick is still pressing forwards, and again the third hatchery on the way down over here as well. Banshee, a couple of Hellions, and the Cloak all coming down from uThermal. As you see, this Viking from uThermal going to come in and start tackling down that Overlord, so dealing some damage. A couple of Hellions coming through, and these Zerglings getting shut down as well. Command center gets dropped. And hopefully this time he doesn't have as much of a nightmare with his first CC as he did in that last game where he cancelled it. And there's all sorts of things you just don't want to see happening to a Terran player, wasn't it? Again, going to be seeing the Hellions coming in towards the upper side, and well, the Lair, the Beaver Chamber, the Baneless all coming down from Snute as we see the Hellions able to pick up a couple of Zerglings already. Just going to see that Stimpack is on the way up, and just going to be seeing the Hellions trying to pass in towards the upper side and towards the third base. Not going to be able to do too much with him. Couple of Queens there, able to push the Hellions away a little bit. Viking around the right-hand side is going to be able to come over, and actually is going to find a second Overlord. Same as the last game, found a second Overlord just as he approached the bases, so finding that, and meanwhile another Banshee coming around to also see what it can do here. Coming around the top side, and we'll try and get rid of a few of these drones. So Banshee still coming up the top. Spore Crawler is going to give the detection there for the Banshee to continue in towards the upper right side. Then that's going to take some hits, and again just going to be seeing a couple of drones taking some damage for a moment or two. Snute's workers going to get back to mining. As we see on the left-hand side, the couple of Viking... well, the Viking going to run away from the couple of Queens. And again, the Banshee chilling out in the upper right-hand side of this as Snute, his drones are still gathering together as well. Hellions from uThermal coming all the way down into the natural. And again, this Soul just lifting up and dropping down into the third base. Viking is just patrol on the left-hand side. I guess if... well, he's probably not going to have a great time if he patrols through the back of the third. A lot of Lings from Snute down at the bottom. He is starting up the Hydralisk. He's getting +1 carapace with no melee or missile upgrades, so nothing to help the attacking kind of variety. As you do see this hatchery, this fourth base getting set up. uThermal coming through, going to be able to pick off a creep tumor here already. Coming up to the top, they'll get rid of another couple of creep tumors so far, so... again, just dealing some damage here as this Viking able to pick its way through this Overlord on the right, on the natural. Ling's going to try and run by Bane. Ling Bane counterattack actually has a lot of potential, but it means that Snute doesn't really have anything at home to defend. Obviously doesn't have any Banes morphed in there or anything. Fumary's up on the high ground as uThermal goes into crisis management mode. Just needing to kind of hold on while he is, I mean, again, still doing a ton of damage on the other side. Snute needs to pull back, morph in Banes. He's got Hydras on the way down. These tanks can probably siege up and cover the natural ramp, though. uThermal just wants to pick off the third and the fourth bases. He has dealt with the attack on the other side. Only 14 workers being lost. uThermal, great defense in the end. Loses 14 workers, but again, still has to deal some more damage over here to really justify this. Snute supply blocks going to come down this ramp. As you see, the Bane's going to start rolling in. Multiple Banes going down there. The Marines will kite backwards, and that's going to be a lift and leave. uThermal didn't do much economic damage, and he's down by 17 workers, but his army supply, he killed so many units of Snute, because that Ling Bane went down, and that was a lot of units over here, and he killed off a lot of Lings that tried to come in to stop this attack initially. And that's the big win here from uThermal. His army advantage is going to be huge, and he has 1-1 against just +1 as well, so he also has that advantage as well. And as you do see, those Marines in the tank just setting up. We've seen the Marines pressing forwards here from uThermal over to the far right-hand side. Banes coming down from Snute in the center. Just going to see a few Marines stepping up. Creep tumor going down again. Hydras taking a little bit of damage. Lings, Banes, and Hydras going to be continuing to press in, and the Marines just have to kite away. Multiple Banes getting picked off here at the moment as that last Marine left behind actually takes down 2 Banelings, right? So it's kind of even still worthwhile. That Baneling having a pretty good time here. And as we do see, the Muscular Augments is about to finish up from Snute. So about to get that going as these Marines get ready to jump into the main base. Under the medevac of uThermal now coming around the left-hand side, and with a third hatchery, a fifth hatchery coming down. Wow, how many hatcheries does Snute have? Fifth hatchery coming down here. Snute is continuing to expand, but he's still in trouble when uThermal goes for a larger push. The army damage that uThermal dealt early is still significant when you look at the supplies. Snute will struggle a little bit, but he does have a better eco, so if he can just hold on, Snute can afford to trade a little bit less effectively, as long as he doesn't die. And that's what he's going to be aiming for with those extra workers. So let's see what happens. uThermal pushing up to the top side here. And as we do see this medevac coming around, he's got these 2 medevacs over here as well. So going to be in a bunch of different locations at the same time. Snute just sends a few units up here to deal with this initially. Keeps some more units down in the center. Far right side, these 2 medevacs chilling out as well. There's a couple Marines loading up here. They're going to unload over in the natural. Scan comes down and Marines getting ready to start pressing forwards. A few of these Zerglings already in some trouble, taking some real hits there. And these medevacs going to drop off Marines in the main base as well. So, again, just multiple prongs of aggression from uThermal. And Snute's going to try and wrap around this army or counterattack. One or the other. It looks like he's going to counterattack and then maybe come and deal with the army as it pulls back to defend. Or he can jump back and deal with it himself. uThermal has seen this counterattack now. Will probably just have to give up a base of his own. Already has a tank set up on this ramp. He wants to just try and get rid of as many Banes as possible. with the siege tank, because then the Marines can kind of deal with the rest. Honestly, there's so many Marines here. The Banes are going down as they roll through. That orbital does lift and survives for the moment. Hydras will go in to kill it. Oh, it is going to go down, so uThermal loses the orbital. The depot is trying to be killed here so that the Lings can maybe escape. Just trying to get whatever damage done they can, but the Marines are going to arrive in those circlings. They will just break their way out of there. But again, an expensive trade from Snute, which does get cleaned up. uThermal's work account is in the gutter, 39 to 75, but his army is 160-65, 2-2 against 1-2 upgrades. Again, uThermal's army is definitely the better side, is definitely the better army right now, and so he can pressure and deal some damage to get back into this game after Snute has been controlling the game up until now. Ling's going for the supply depots there, and one of them remaining goes down. uThermal's only on 2 bases. He has no other orbital to use. So Snute just kind of needs to survive at the moment as we see the Lings and the Banes running around. Marines are coming down, and they're going to be able to go after a couple of those Banes. More Zerglings dealing damage to the SCVs. Marines keep stimming in, though. Depots will raise, and that's going to block off a bunch of these Zerglings. Meanwhile, on the bottom right side, more Lings and Banes hanging out. I'm still worried about Snute's army, but now 40 workers ahead. There is a real possibility that Snute can maybe just about close down uThermal's army that one time he needs to. And then he actually might be able to take this down, honestly. This is a little bit crazy at the moment. As we have got Lings, Banes. They are moving up the right-hand side, joining even more Zerglings to the right as well. More Marines coming over. A couple of Lings getting picked away at right now. Banes running down from Snute to the bottom right-hand side. Marines stimming around to the far left. Lings and Banes coming around as well. 6th hatchery coming up, or rebuilding the 5th, but he's got a 6th top left side as well. Counterattack once again, just in case uThermal hasn't taken enough damage back at home. Depots get busted down. uThermal doesn't have any units ready at all. So Snute counterattacking to really put uThermal's attack into an all-in position. Tanks pressing forwards. Marines going to press forwards with them. More Banes, more Zerglings on the way up. Snute is one engagement away from taking uThermal to a game 3 into moving into potentially a match point to get into the qualifying round for the Intel Extreme Masters Katowice. Orbital and the natural goes down. Here he goes. Snute is surrounding. He's ready for this. Comes on the bottom side first. The Banes start crashing through. The Lings and Banes and Hydras on the left too. And Snute is going to be crushing through this. It's a GG. Snute ties the series. I just completely mess up the ad screen. I don't even know what I did to the ad screen, actually. I feel like it was on the ad screen, it's just changed, but maybe I just completely screwed up. I haven't even realized. Sorry, you guys just been watching me kind of mess around waiting for the lobby while I've been muted. It's meant to be an ad screen, guys. Sorry. My bad, really, actually. I have no idea what I just did. Alright, well, let's go into this as we have got to the top right-hand side. Our red Terran player is Team Liquid's uThermal. In this Team Liquid team kill against the blue Zerg bottom left opening pool first, this is Snute. Yeah, I actually don't know what I did to the ad screen there. I must have pressed something at some point that changed things up a little bit. So apologies for that. As we get ready for this game 3 now. The pool first, let's see what sort of aggression that brings us. The ad screen was on, so I definitely just broke something somewhere along the ways. Huh. Okay, well. Oh, I changed it like almost instantly. Don't know how I did that. My bad. Anyways, that aside, we're just going to be kicking off into game 3 of this now and seeing how this is going to go. Wardy, what's your subscriber record? I mean, like, probably the same as what I was last night when you asked. Like 1,060 to 1,070-ish. Around there. So, like, we're like 10 away from it or something. I don't know. Anyways, commands are dropping down on the natural here from uThermal. Reaper expand. Obviously, the pool first is a couple of Lings here from Snute. Not too many, though. So, maybe just kind of feeling like, uThermal loses a game. 3 racks. We've all seen that one before. So, yeah, we've definitely all seen that one before. And as we get this set to go, a couple of Lings chasing down this SCV. uThermal does, of course, see the pull first, but the Ling's back at home, so Reaper's going to show up, and actually no pressure on uThermal's command center at all. This is mostly so Snute can get a fast road drone. So get into the road drone now. Nice placement of the Reaper on the refinery to stop the drone becoming an extractor. We do see that Ling taking a little bit of damage. Queen here as well. And as the Reaper going to be pushed away, Reaper does see the gas continuing to mine, and Snute decides not to go for the road drone anymore. So Snute changed up his mining times of what he wanted to do. Had that road drone started, but you know, being scouted, etc., decided to change up his change what he was doing. And now you see this drone continue to try and fight. As we do have the Reaper still harassing, man. Without the Lings here, Reaper has so much freedom to just kind of do what he wants. Reaper hops up to the high ground and just going to be seeing the again Ling speed getting started. Starport coming up here from uThermal, and we are going to be seeing the Reaper coming through, able to pick off a drone. So, Reaper able to get a drone and still being so annoying. This is the third kill on that Reaper. Hell of a time forward, as we're going to be seeing the Reaper going to be popping out from the main base in a moment or two here. Cloak coming up on the starport, and as Cloak comes up on the starport, we're going to be seeing Banshees once again. So still, uThermal playing a very safe and steady style at the moment. Time and time again, as we see these Hellions just coming through to the bottom left-hand side. Hellions just going to get ready to run straight in. Oh, Snute doesn't have any units. He's making drones. He's got no units on the way either. Queens are busy dealing with the attack in the main. The Reaper. Oh no, Snute's just dead. Snute is just dead. GG's, and uThermal picks up a very, very simple game number 3, taking that 2-1.